Was good, players? We are back, and we got the Datamines here for Summer Banner number 1, Pious Summer, aka the Summer Banner of Holy Women, I think is what the theme was here. So, let's go ahead and check this out. I mean, people are very underwhelmed by this banner. This is definitely one of the worst seasonal banners we've had in a long time. So, before we get into that, though, let's actually start things off with the Hall of Forms here. Let's go ahead and make this image a little bit bigger. Okay, so we have here an engage-themed Hall of Forms. We've got the legendary female Leer. We have base Diamant. We have Citrine, and then we have Halloween Chimera. So out of these units, I would say legendary female Leer is definitely the best option. Followed closely by Citrine, who can do her shenanigans with the ability to reflect her own bonuses to allies in 2 spaces. That comes in handy more so if you've got an ally on the team that's only giving their support statuses to one character. Like, for example, Myrrh, the legendary Myrrh, who would only give her stuff to either a support ally or an ally with the highest defense, or GHB Sonya, who gives Essence Drain and Bonus Doubler to either the ally with the highest attack or her support partner. Those type of units eat pretty well with Citrine, because then it doesn't matter who the support partner is, the whole team is just getting all the stuff. So she comes in handy for stuff like that, and then also, like, you can do shenanigans with her. There are more and more status effects coming out as time passes, so more and more reasons for her to be warranted on a team if you're running her. Female Leer, though, she's just like a dragon unit for Arena, and she's a pretty decent option. She has Brave Attacking. She was an Omni tank on release, but right now, I don't know if she's going to be tanking too much. But at the very least, you can probably get bonus KOs with her, and you can get some high-scoring skills on her as well, like, for example, High Dragon Wall, which would be pretty valuable to get. So, yeah, those two, I would say, are the top priorities. Diamant and Chimera are pretty much just, like, tank units, but right now we have so many better options for that, that I don't know if going back to these guys from back in the day is a better option than, say, like, running a tuned Chimera is definitely better than running the Halloween one, because her weapon's just better. She's got Sandstorm and all that. So, yeah, just a little bit of a backwards regression if you're trying to go for them. All right, next up, we have this over here. This is a new customization pack. So, for $9, you're getting 22 orbs and a copy of Winter Dimitri as a manual. His fodder isn't really that great anymore. I mean, it was pretty good on release. Like, he had No Quarter, he had Attack and Speed Prime 4, and I think he has Panic Smoke 4 as well. Those were pretty solid skills back then, but, like, right now, not so much. I guess Attack and Speed Prime can be argued as okay, considering, like, Distant Bonus Doubler and Close Bonus Doubler are not that great right now. But we are getting new variations of Distant Counter again, as we saw on Burger King with Distant Form skills now. So I would probably rather go for those as opposed to going for Prime 4, which can be a little tricky to activate sometimes, even though we do have a lot of bonuses going on. It can still be tricky, and enemies can also remove your bonuses too. So, yeah, not really the most reliable option. The orb, though, the orb pricing, I guess, is okay. Like, if you're a big spender on the game, then there's probably no reason not to just get this, because you would just be buying the orbs and getting the manual as a throw-in. But for regular players that don't really spend money like that, or you spend money but you don't really spend too much money, I would say this is not really something you should worry about. Okay, next up we have the stats here for the new units, and I mean, this has got to be like one of the most underwhelming banners of all time. It's not only is it a guaranteed skip, but like actually I think the primary unit here, the duo, is like one of the weakest duo heroes ever. Like, what were they thinking with this Celica? I don't get it. And what would have been crazy, too, is she actually would have been pretty good if they didn't fumble her. Because the idea they went with her was to use her style. She's the first emblem, or first non-emblem hero to come with a style. So that's already setting a new precedent now that we have to watch out for styles on upcoming banners that aren't with emblem heroes. But the problem, though, is that they mitigated her damage by way too much. So her style gives her the ability to attack from 3 spaces away, essentially giving her a longbow. However, it also gives her a brave attack, and all of her attacks while in the style are mitigated down to 60% of damage. So, may I just ask why? Like, what was that necessary to nerf her damage like that? Probably not so much, right? I don't know. And I feel like Bikini Celica would have been a type of character that people would have wanted to get. Like, she's a pretty good waifu, and we always are looking out for them bikini waifus. So maybe they were like that confident that she would sell that they didn't need to overtune her kit. Or, alternate theory, I actually think what's going on here is that they're trying to experiment a little bit with toning down the power creep. I feel like even Insys is starting to get tired of power creep. So like now, because if we look back to the past couple of banners, like the Fallen banner, the the previous Bride banner that had like Seliph and Julia and those guys, like those banners were pretty decent banners. Like the units on them are pretty good, but you don't necessarily need to summon right away for them. And I feel like that's been a running theme lately where we've had a bunch of units that are good, but like you don't need to summon immediately. You don't need them right away. They're not like gonna reshape the meta or anything like that. With the exception of Burger King, who we just recently got, who I think is one of those types of units you probably don't want to skip. But maybe that's what they're doing here. They're just trying to figure out like if they could pace the game a little bit slower, because they probably realize that they want people to still keep playing the game and not get a headache over like having to upgrade teams and units every single banner. So yeah, that would be my thought, although I could just be totally wrong. So I don't know, you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, why they have kind of slowed down a little bit on power creep for the most part, for general cases, I would say. All right, but regardless, let's take a look at Celica's stats here. She also has a harmonic button, by the way, but you're never going to be able to use it because the only reason you would ever use this unit is for the style, for the 3-range attack. But if you go ahead and swap out her main weapon for her harmonic button, it's not even that worth it. All it does is penalty cleanse and recover 40 HP and give resonant blades to allies from Echoes and FE7. Like, those are two of the weakest... well, FE7's an okay roster, but Echoes is, like, probably the weakest roster in the game. So, I don't know. Like, you're never going to want to take off her main weapon just to run her harmonic skill. It's just not happening. So, regardless here, we've got 40 HP. We have 48 attack, 47 speed, 20 defense, and then 24 res, giving us a grand total BST of 179. That's really bad. And being a harmonic unit, she doesn't get an increase to her BST like duo units or legendary units. So, yeah, scoring is not possible with her. Not that you would want to, but, I mean, it's just not happening. And we actually don't need to do boons and banes here. I've just noticed this. Gengar and Tsukasa have started including the boons and banes on the image now. So, yeah, she's got plus attack, plus res, and minus HP. That certainly saves me a bit of effort. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Nino up next. Now, Nino's... I don't even know what Nino is doing here. So, like, you think of all of the hot bikini babes you could have for a summer banner. So, like, Celica, I guess, would be one. Pala is pretty thick. I guess even Lapis could count, too, even though, like, she's not the thickest in the shed. But I guess she looks okay. Nino, though? Like, Nino on a summer banner, really? Did anybody want that? Probably not. And not to mention, we've already had multiple copies of Nino. Another problem with the banner, too, is the unit selection. Like, Celica's got 1 million alts, Nino's got 1 million alts, Pala's got 1 million alts. Lapis has way more alts than I would have expected for an engaged character, while most of the engaged cast is still not even in the game yet. And then Fogato's got a couple of alts, too. So, why, may I ask? What was the thought process with the character selection for this one? They must have something really hot dropping at the end of the month. Like, this month's Emblem banner or Legendary banner or whatever it is probably something that they are confident is going to pull in all the money. Because this banner just ain't it, man. Okay, so Nino, her stat line, we've got 38 HP, 46 attack, 48 speed, 24 defense, and then 32 res, giving us a total of 188. A little better than Celica, but still not arena worthy. Nino seems okay, actually. Like, her kit is okay. It seems more in line with, like, the Bride banner, where units like Seliph and Lakche, I thought they were pretty good. But they're not, like, gonna break the meta or anything. If you summon them, they could be helpful, but you don't really need to summon them. And I think Nino's more in that boat than Celica, to be honest. Celica just feels bad, whereas Nino just seems okay. So, Boons and Banes here, we've got plus speed, and then we have minus HP and minus res for her. Okay. Alright, next up we have Pala, who is the demote of the banner. So, let's see here. We got 41 HP, 49 attack, 18 speed, 46 defense, and then 40 res. So, total of 194. That actually might be enough for arena. I think so, right? She should score one bin below Panette, right? So, like, that would be... She scores in the same bin as Fallen Lloyd and the New Year female Kana, if that's the case. So, yeah, that's okay. That's not too bad. And her stat line is actually pretty crazy. So, we got here, like, 49 attack. That's insane. And then 46, 40 on defense and res. Speed is a complete dump stat. Only issue, though, is that do you really want to be using a unit with tanky stats like that as a flyer? I don't know. These type of stats you would want to see on an armor type unit or an infantry type that have access to better, like, tank type of skills. But I think her stat line's actually pretty good. And she does have access to a good arcane weapon with the Arcane Giant Axe. Although her preference weapon is okay if you don't have, like, a better option. It seems like her weapon and also the Fogado weapon seem like what you would go for if you do not have an arcane weapon that's better. So it's just like a filler up until then. So yeah, there we go with Pala. Alright, moving on to Lapis. I think Lapis is actually the best unit on the banner, and she seems like she actually could be a pretty good force on a Gale Force style of team, with like her going in to attack first, then she sets up Share Spoils, and then she can distant Kanto an ally in. Like, that's a pretty good combination of tech that this Lapis has got going on for her. And her Share Spoils spreads to enemies in 2 spaces of the target, whereas the other Bride Lapis, she only puts Share Spoils on the enemy that she attacked. So it's kind of like a backward strategy of her wanting to attack something and not finish them off, and then have somebody else come in to finish the job. Lapis can finish off whoever, this one at least, can finish off whoever she attacks, and then she's setting up the enemy team for your other guys to start Gale Forcing against. So that could be pretty good. Alright, she's got 41 HP, 45 attack, 48 speed, 35 defense, and then 30 res. So we got here a grand total of 199. Actually, that's arena viable. If you were to get a lot of merges on her, get her to plus 10, yeah, you could run her in arena. She scores better than Panette, actually, if that's her BST. So, yeah, no complaints at all. I think Lapis is like the diamond in the rough of this banner. And finally, we have Fogado here, who is going to be our GHB, or not GHB, but Tempest Trial unit. So he is a Colorless Dagger Cavalry type. We got here 39 HP, 45 attack, 47 speed, 26 defense, and then 28 res. So grand total of 185 BST. He has super boons on speed and defense, and then super banes on HP, attack, and res. Ugh. That's a lot of banes, but it doesn't really matter, I guess, since he's a free-to-play unit. He's never going to have a bane unless you trait fruit him and don't merge. But you're given a free merge on the house, so it doesn't matter. Oh, and if I didn't mention it, Lapis's boons and banes are plus speed, minus HP, minus res. Okay, so Fogado, let's see what you're cooking, man. Let's take a... Oh, I did his BST, right? Hold on. Why do I feel like I blanked out there? 39, 45, 47, 26, 28. So BST of 185, yeah, that's not going to be enough for, like, arena scoring. So he's seemingly not going to be the greatest arena merge project, but his stat line is okay. 45, 47 attack and defense, or attack and speed is fine. And then being a dagger type, let's see what we've got here. So attack and speed catch 3 at 4-star. I guess that's okay. Oh, pulse smoke at 5-star. That's an interesting one. All right, and then Pala's got attack and defense near trace 4 at 5-star, which is obvious. And then attack and defense rain 3 at 4-star. So they didn't show Fogato's weapon here, but he basically has a bow or a dagger version of Pala's axe, with the exception of it also having dagger 7, of course, being a dagger type. Like I said with Pala, it's an okay filler weapon until you get a better arcane weapon. But we do have some pretty good arcane daggers right now. Like, for example, Rearmed Layla's got a good one. So, yeah, probably would rather go for those as opposed to going for Fogato's. And finally, I guess we can go ahead and end on the artwork. Let's finish us up with that. All right, and then Lapis and Fogato. Okay, so here's Celica's artwork. I believe there was an official art of Celica in a bikini before. I don't think she had this same outfit, though. I think they gave her a different one for this. Although it looks a little bit similar, but I'm not sure if it was exactly the same. And then Sarah over there. Man, poor Sarah, right? Like, this is her first alt. Like, this feels like the first time she's ever getting any attention, and this is how they repay her for her patience, is by putting her as a backpack on one of the most undertuned seasonals of all time. I do like the fruit bowl that she's got, though. Pretty funny stuff there. All right, the special art, and then finally the injured artwork. The fruit bowl is censoring Sarah's booty there. All right, we definitely needed that. No one wants to see her booty. Okay, so next up we have Pala with her giant fan. All right, artwork is okay. Oh, this one's much nicer. This attack pose here. Not really the biggest fan of the neutral art for this Pala, but these look pretty good. This special one is nice with the fishies, and the like wave effect is pretty cool. All right, and then finally we got the injured artwork there. So Pala's art is pretty nice. All right, then we have Nino. One thing I will say I like about the Nino, though, is her sprite, before she attacks, she does a hula hoop with her flotation ring. It's pretty cute. So I thought that was a nice touch on the sprite work, but other than that, I mean, this is like whatever. All right, so we got a penguin over there and a dolphin. When's the last time you ever saw a penguin on the beach? Don't penguins live in the Arctic and like Antarctica where it's cold? Wouldn't a penguin be in trouble if he was on the beach? All right, and then finally the injured art here. We got her float ring is breaking apart there. All right, whatever. Okay, next up we've got Lapis here. So Lapis has got a big box there. It looks like she's going harpoon fishing. She's got like a box full of fishing tools. All right, pretty cool. Oh, she's got an octopus in there. Why does she have an octopus in the box? Did she catch an octopus? All right, here is the artwork. We got like a big trout there, or like a catfish or something. And then the wave effect is pretty nice. All right, and then finally the injured art. Yeah, I guess what she's got in the box there is all the fish that she caught. Okay. All right, Lapis, whatever. I'm not sure why Lapis has been getting so many alts, though, by the way. Like, was she that popular in Engage? I didn't personally think so. I thought characters like Ivy were getting all the attention. Ivy and Goldberry for me. Okay, finally, Fogato, who's got some pretty good artwork. We ain't gonna lie, this is, like, actually pretty good art for a free-to-play. All right, looks a little small, though. I feel like some more could be going on here for the attack art. Okay, that's more like it. That's special attack art. Pretty good. All right, and then finally the injured artwork from Fogato. So pretty good. Overall, the artwork is not too shabby. But yeah, again, I think people would have preferred some better unit choices for this one. And certainly not the underpowered Celica that they gave us. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. This is your boy Tacho signing out. And I will catch y'all again on the flip side.